Hi everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most powerful and flexible UI components out there for B4X developers, the B4XDaisyCard. If you're tired of writing tons of boilerplate code just to get a modern, stylish UI, well, you're in the right place.
All right, let's just jump right in and see this thing in action. Check this out. It's clean, it's modern, perfect for something like an e-commerce app, right? You've got your product image, a title, some text, and that all-important call to action button. This is that slick, professional look that users just expect these days. Now have a look at this. Totally different layout, isn't it? Here are the images on the side, which creates this really nice summary card. You could see this in a movie app or a news feed. But what if I told you this was built with the exact same component as the last one? Pretty cool, right? And how about one more? A compact, dark-themed notification card. And again, built with the same exact tool. So yeah, all this variety, all these different looks, they all come from just one super configurable component. So, you ready to see how it all works under the hood? So, the component that's making all of this magic happen, it's the B4XDaisyCard. And honestly, it's designed to be your go-to tool for building pretty much any card-based layout you can think of for your B4X apps. So what is it exactly? Well, when you boil it down, the B4XDaisyCard is a lightweight component that gives you a predictable structure to work with. So instead of you having to mess around positioning every little panel, it just organizes everything into logical chunks for you. This means you can customize it a ton just using simple properties, which makes styling and layout way easier than it usually is. Okay, so to really get how powerful this is, you first got to understand its anatomy. Let's break down what makes up one of these cards. So every single one of these cards is conceptually made up of just a few key areas. First up, you've got the figure. Think of that as the spot for your main image or media. Then there's the body, which is basically the main container for everything else. And tucked inside that body, you've got your title and, you guessed it, your actions. That's where the buttons go. Now this is where it gets really interesting for us developers, because this connects those ideas directly to the code. You'll be working with these internal views, like P&L figure for your image and P&L actions for your buttons. Having this predictable structure is huge. It means things are simple, but you also have the power to jump in and add your own custom stuff exactly where you want it. Okay, now this is where the real magic starts. One of the most powerful features of the B4XDaisyCard is the layout mode property. I'm talking about completely changing the entire structure of the card with just one property. Seriously. So there are four main layout modes we're going to see. You can stick the image on top. That's the default, or put it on the side, move it to the bottom, or even create this really cool overlay effect. Let's just watch this thing morph right before our eyes. All right, so here's our starting point. This is the default top layout, image right on top of the content, super standard, a great place to start. Okay, now watch this. We just change one property, layout mode, to side. And boom, the whole card just reconfigures itself. Now the image and the body are sitting side by side. This is absolutely perfect for more compact, information-heavy lists. But why stop there, right? Let's change the layout mode to bottom. And just like that, the image slides down below the text. It totally changes the whole vibe and how you read the information on the card. And for the grand finale, check out the overlay mode. The body content gets placed right on top of the image. And what's really cool is it automatically adds this subtle dark layer so your text is always easy to read. This is absolutely perfect for those big, bold, magazine-style layouts. Okay, so we've nailed down the structure. What about the look and feel? The colors? Well, this is another really smart part of the B4XDaisyCard. It uses something called semantic variants to make theming super fast and, more importantly, consistent. So instead of fiddling with hex codes for your background and your text, you just use simple keywords. Words like primary, success, or error automatically pull in a consistent color scheme from your theme. That means you can tell what the card is for just by looking at it. Success is green, error is red. It just makes sense. So let's see it in action. Watch what happens when we just change that one variance property. We can cycle through all these different looks instantly and see how the background and the text colors automatically adapt together. It makes building a UI that looks good and makes sense so much more efficient. No more guesswork. All right, so we've got the big stuff covered, layout and color. But what about the little details? Let's talk about how you can really polish your design and make it perfect. So the style property is great for adding those subtle but really important visual touches. You can see the difference here between no style and the border style. You'd be surprised what a simple one-pixel border can do to make a card pop, especially on tricky backgrounds. And what about depth? We can control that too, using the shadow property. On the left, it's totally flat, but switch it to something like XL, and suddenly you get this great shadow that makes the card feel like it's literally floating off the screen. So let's just do a quick recap of the power you have here. You can set the entire structure with layout modes, apply instant themes with variants, and then you get to dial in all the details, sizing, borders, shadows, to get that pixel-perfect look you're after. And really, that's the whole idea behind this component. It's super easy to get started with the big, high-level properties like layout mode and variant, but it doesn't box you in. When you need to do something really custom, you can still get your hands on the underlying parts and have total control. It's that combination of simplicity and power that can just seriously speed up your UI development. So that's a whirlwind tour of the B4X DaisyCard. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.